Yeah, like here I am headed up to the rock store, for example. Got my good pants on, my good boots on. I got my good jacket on, I got my good gloves on. But how much confidence should I really have in a piece of gear that's like CE rated, you know? Because like I always think that that's like really good stuff, you know? Like I always think that I'm very good off wearing gear, and any of like my Dainese gear that's like CE rated, I love that stuff, man. Like to know that I've got like CE rated like knee guards and shin guards and, you know, like all that stuff. It's like really cool, but it really only is gonna protect from road rash. You know, if all of a sudden something happens and I'm sliding down the road, I'm not gonna get skinned up. But if something happens in like a high side, for example, and I fly up into the air and I come down like on my arm or something, it's not gonna keep me from breaking my arm. You know what I mean? Or like if I come down all funny like on my shoulder, it's not gonna keep me from breaking my collarbone, you know? So it's like it's really beneficial to wear gear, in my opinion, but how, you know, like how beneficial is it? I heard a story on YouTube. I was watching different videos, and this guy was talking about gear and like how safe it is or whatever, and he was talking about how he rides down in like Alabama and Mississippi, I think is what he was saying, and he said that it is so hot and so humid that nobody wears gear just because it's miserable, man. I mean, it's like bad enough just to ride around like with like naked versus like having anything on. It's like just terrible. So to be dressed like in full gear like I am, it would just be like way too hot and it would be miserable, and so nobody does it. And he was talking about how he rode around down there for 3 years and never had anything happen to him, not once. Just recently, I think he moved somewhere like different, and he was riding around and he like went down. He like low-sided in a turn or something, I think, and he got skinned up. And he was talking about how the road rash hurt for about 3 days, and he was comparing that 3 days of misery to the 3 years of misery that he would have endured riding with gear down in Alabama and Mississippi, like where it's super hot, super humid. And he was saying, he goes, man, he goes, not wearing gear for those 3 years was totally worth it to be miserable for those 3 days. You know, he's like, it really wasn't that big of a deal getting road rash and, you know, being miserable, you know, having it sting a little bit when you take a shower or whatever. You know, it only took 3 days and then it stopped hurting. But he must have gotten a very minor, you know, case of road rash from a very minor low side. And about the time you grind something down to the bone, you know, like a joint usually, because that's like where a little bone will be poking out. And like if you're like sliding on your arm and you grind a spot like on your elbow down to the bone, so there's actually like, say, like a quarter size piece of skin, like where there's no skin, it's just all like down to the joint, man. That is not good. And then they're gonna have to like be cutting skin off of your butt cheeks to fix your elbow, you know. And at that point, I really think that gear is beneficial. You know, if you have a major slide down the road and something like an elbow or a knee or your hip gets ground down like to the freaking bone, you know, I mean, not to mention your hands, you know, like that's, I mean, bare minimum, it's like at least wear some gloves, dude, you know, like, and some boots, because, you know, like you don't want to mess up your hands and don't want to freaking break your ankles or get your toes ground off or whatever. I mean, I actually saw like a very graphic video of this guy and this girl that were riding like two up, just being like the guy was riding with a bunch of dumbasses, and this poor girl was on the back of this dumbass's bike, and they came flying through an intersection that was a red light and hit the cars that were like going through the intersection on the green light, and the girl went flying off the back of the bike, and her foot like basically got ripped off of her leg, and it's like the most disgusting video, dude. I'll put a link to it in the comments section. It is like unreal. It is just like, you see that and you're just like, holy crap, dude, I'm gonna go buy me a set of boots. I won't just like randomly like come up to some guy who's like riding without gear and be like, dude, you really should be wearing gear, bro. I don't do that. I don't try to freaking preach to people or act like a know-it-all or whatever. You know, I just put out videos trying to help people, you know, and that's pretty much it. Like, I don't really talk down to people for what they do, you know, and I wouldn't be like, hey, what's up, squid? You know, like, I think that's funny, you know. I mean, usually it's like the people that are wearing gear like me are the ones that get made fun of, you know. They'd be like, hey, what's up, robot? Or like, spaceman, or what, you know, like the guy at the Harley dealership was teasing Cycle Cruiser about wearing gear that one time, you know. He was like, how is it on the moon, or something like that, he asked him. Because he was like dressed up like an astronaut or whatever, I guess. Like on a morning like this, it's, shoot, more gear on the better, because it's freezing out. Yeah, it's like 40 degrees right now, air temperature. But I don't know, I could see, like, if you lived somewhere where it was super hot and super humid and it was just absolutely miserable to ride all the time, then it's like, okay, then don't wear gear. But at the same time, it's like, understand the risks that you're taking and ride differently. Like, I guarantee you, if I went out for a ride and I didn't have any gear on, it would be fun, but I would be riding a lot differently than I normally do. I wouldn't go for like a squid run up into the canyon and freaking be like hauling full speed ass. No. Every time I go up into the canyon, I always get into the mood to have fun and ride fast and hit turns, and so it's almost pointless for me to wear jeans, you know, to wear anything other than like what you would consider a two-piece suit or one of my one-piece suits. It's like, no matter what, every time I go up in the canyon, I always suit up, just because there's no sense to not doing it. You know, otherwise I'll get up there and I'll start having fun, but then I have to like hold myself back because I don't want to ride like full speed, because then, you know, what if I go down and no gear? Then I'm totally messed up. But let me know what you think. Yeah, definitely let me know like what you guys do for gear and where you live, because I know that matters a lot. You know, it's like I don't think I've ever seen a video by like of a European rider guy squidding. You know, I've never seen a guy like over in Europe like riding around in like a short sleeve shirt, just like squidding out, you know, like no gloves, just because it's too cold. I think the air temperature, even in the summertime, I think it's really cold over there, because every time I ever see a video of a guy from Europe riding around, he's always like geared up, dude. Gauntlet gloves, you know, good jacket. So let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below, and I will talk to you soon. You guys stay safe out there. Peace.